Welcome. Amy Clinton here, and today we are going to talk about the one thing that can make or break us: time management. We all have the same 168 hours in a week, and how we use them determines just about everything about us. I bet just hearing those words evokes some kind of emotion for you. I've heard it all. I'm overwhelmed. I'm too busy. There just aren't enough hours in the day. I'm a procrastinator. I work best at multitasking. I hate schedules. Schedules are too restrictive. Would you believe me if I told you that, in fact, the opposite was true? If you properly use a schedule and you use time to your advantage, it frees up space during your day. But even more amazingly is it frees up space in your brain to start focusing on the things that you want to do. Do you work a full-time job and have a hard time keeping up with the house and the weekly chores? If I asked you what you did in your free time, you would laugh at me, right? Maybe you're wanting to start your own business or a side hustle, and you just can't find the time to do it. Maybe you're retired and now you have no real schedule to adhere to, but absolutely nothing gets done because before you realize it, another day, another week, and another month has passed without you having anything to show for it. Or maybe you want to take a class, read a book, start a new hobby, or find more time to visit your kids or date your hubby. Implementing some daily routines can help free up the space for you to accomplish just that. And if you suffer from anxiety, let me tell you, adding some routines and time into your schedule can greatly reduce the anxiety that you feel. Take it from somebody who's been there. My mind used to race 1,000,000 miles a minute with all the things that I needed to get done and all the great ideas that I wanted to put into action. The problem was that by the time I sat down in the evening for a few minutes, I'd forgotten my idea. Has that happened to anybody else? It was like my brain was so cluttered with a never-ending to-do list and had to remember all the really important tasks that needed to happen to complete my work and raise my family and just be a human that could function, that anything that my mind didn't consider top priority, like a new hobby or a business idea that I wanted to research, would be completely forgotten because there just wasn't enough air in there for them to survive. My routines and my schedule are freeing. I now have the time and the mental capacity to try new things and focus on things that are fun, not just the things that I have to do to survive. So what do you say? Let's jump in and free up some space for you too. We're going to begin thinking about our evening routine first. Most people assume the best place to begin is your morning routine. But I believe that a peaceful, productive morning actually begins the night before. In my opinion, the best days are created in advance, even if it's just a few hours ahead of time. So let's set the scene here. This was all too often how my Mondays started. I stayed up way too late binge watching the latest series on Netflix because I had a serious case of the Sunday night blues. My alarm rings and I immediately hit the snooze button and I start thinking about what I can give up so that I can lay in bed for a few more minutes. First up is lunch. I decide to just grab something quick instead of packing a healthy lunch. I tell myself that I'll order a salad, but in reality, I will most likely end up with a burger and fries from the nearest fast food restaurant because, let's be honest, Nothing is going to go easy that day, and I will feel like I deserve a treat by noon. The next time the snooze button rings, I hit it once more, telling myself that I really don't need to wash my hair this morning. Instead, I'll use a little dry shampoo to hide some of the grease, and I'll just pull it up in a bun. 9 more minutes. The third time the alarm goes off, I consider if a shower is really that necessary. All right, enough is enough. It's time to get out of bed. I drag my tired butt to the shower, and then I grab the first thing that I see in the closet. I put that on, I pull up my hair, I add a little mascara to try to camouflage the fact that I'm exhausted, and I run out the door so I'm not late again. I leave feeling rushed, frustrated, and mad at the world. The rest of the day feels like I'm playing catch up, and I find myself being snippy and irritated with everyone and everything. The Big Mac certainly didn't help, and now my stomach is upset by 2 p.m. I'm dragging, just wishing the day was over. So let's be honest here. Those extra 18 minutes that I stayed in bed weren't really that relaxing. Those 18 minutes didn't make me any less tired. If anything, they made it worse. I was jolted by the alarm 3 times now. I was dreading the morning. I was giving up the things that would make my day run a little smoother. And instead, I started the day feeling like a hot mess. This is where our evening routine can help us. Once I began prepping everything I could for the following day, the morning became so much easier. Right after dinner, I spend 30 minutes, and it has made all the difference in the world. Find a time that works for you, sometime after dinner and before you go to bed, and be consistent. The routine doesn't have to be hard, but you need it to be consistent in order for it to work. Okay, so now we're going to form your routine. Here are some of the things that I do almost every evening to get you started. I look at my calendar for the next day. Do I have any appointments or something on my schedule that isn't ordinary? Do I need anything special for them? If so, I lay it out or I put it in my work bag so I don't forget it. What are we having for lunch tomorrow? I pack lunches for both myself and my husband. It's less expensive and it's much healthier than what we would buy eating out. Plus, if there's a kink in the day and for whatever reason we can't get away from lunch, we still eat. Hopefully there are some leftovers from dinner that we can take. That makes it real easy. If not, I make something or at least think of something I can easily put together in the morning. It is a lifesaver. Okay, so what about dinner? Do I need to take something out of the freezer to thaw? Do I need to pick something up from the store? So what am I going to wear? What's the weather supposed to be like? Are my clothes clean? Do I need to wash a load of clothes? That entire process usually takes around 15 minutes. Then I spend the remaining 15 minutes straightening up the house. Now, this isn't a detailed cleaning. It's just putting things away and handling a few easy tasks so that whenever I wake up in the morning, I'm not waking up to a mess. Oh, I hate that. Then, after that, my evenings are free. I can read a book, work on a craft, watch a movie, or journal and replay my gratitude list from the day. And then it's off to bed on time. Honestly, it helps me sleep better. My brain knows that whenever I am doing these things, it means that it's getting close to time to sleep. I can typically crawl in bed reassured, knowing tomorrow when I wake up, I already have a jump on the day. Now, if you currently don't have any kind of an evening routine, that whole list may feel a little daunting, but don't stress out on me. There is no reason you need to do it all in one day. Trying to create a long, detailed routine will put your brain in overdrive, and you'll most likely give up before your routine ever becomes a habit. Slow and steady definitely wins the race here. I find it best to start with 3 things, and if you already have a routine, however big or small established, you can add about 3 new things to it. Every few weeks, once it starts feeling natural, you can add something else if you like. So, my suggestion to get started is the first thing would be to look at your schedule for tomorrow and gather whatever items that you may need. Decide what you're going to wear, and then spend a few minutes cleaning up the house. If you do nothing but those 3 things, you've given yourself a fighting chance to have a good morning. Next, we look at your morning routine. Your morning should reflect a few things that you love and help you begin the day feeling good. Set your alarm for the time that you are actually planning on waking up. If you know that you are not going to get up at 5:30, why are you setting an alarm for that time? All you're doing is telling your self-conscious that you don't keep promises to yourself. And that's not what we're here for. If you know that you aren't getting up until 6, set your alarm for 6. And when the alarm goes off, get out of bed! You don't have to immediately get ready if you don't want to. Honestly, I recommend you give yourself a little time, just to yourself at first. But you need to at least be out of bed. If not, you're going to fall back asleep. The next thing I do is I grab a big glass of water and I go outside to breathe in some fresh air. It's become an important signal to my body that it's time to come alive and that a new day is here. That happens before the coffee or anything else. After that, I make coffee and I sit down for some time to get my mind ready for the day. That includes things like prayer, meditation, reading something inspirational, or listening to some good pump you up quality music. I do everything in my power to create a pocket of peace. That way, when it's time for me to interact with the world, I can do it from a place of peace and happiness instead of irritation and frustration. Depending on the season of life, I may try to fit in a few minutes of exercise if I can, or even put something in the crock pot for dinner. It's important to be realistic here. I don't overschedule my morning. I take it as slow as I can. Most of the time, it's really hard to determine the pace of the remainder of the day. So I use the morning and I make sure that I have done everything that I can to set myself up for success. Once I saw the power in this, it was hard. It was hard for me to stay in bed. I wanted to get up and get going because this became the favorite part of my day. The morning is about me and what I need. It happens before the rest of the world makes their demands known. I wake up a little later now, but when my kids were still home, I did my best to get up at least 30 minutes before them, just so I could have some me time. Or when our schedules changed and they were the ones getting up super early, I spent the 30 minutes right after they walked out the door. The important thing is to find what works for you. After I'm done with what I call my mindset work, it's on to shower and get ready for the day. Spending a few extra minutes fixing your hair, applying a little makeup if you wear it, and choosing an outfit that makes you feel confident will help your day go so much better. The old quote is really true. If you look good, you feel good. Okay, so it's time for you to get started. What does your morning routine already include? Where can you make any adjustments to make it run a little bit smoother? What time will you wake up in the morning? What are the 3 things that you're going to do first? Remember, these are things to support you in having a good day. If you aren't excited to do them, it's not going to support you. It's not going to support you in starting your day in a peaceful way. If reading isn't your thing, how about a little kitchen dance party while you make your coffee or tea? If you can't quiet your mind to meditate, how about listening to a positive YouTube video for 5 minutes? Make it yours, and it will serve you for a long time. Remember, if the routine you first create doesn't work smoothly for you, change it up and try again. Don't give up. There is a perfect routine out there that is just waiting to improve your day. Remember, it's all about finding some pockets of peace to lift you up and set you up for success. Take a week or 2 to practice these routines before you add in anything extra. It takes time for them to become a habit. I want you to get to the point where you don't have to expend a lot of mental energy to get them done. That's the whole point of you having a routine. You don't really think about brushing your teeth in the morning anymore, right? Because it's just a routine. It's just your habit. You do it. You don't really think about the order in which you wash your body parts in the shower anymore because it's just part of the routine. That's the place that I want you to get with these new evening and morning routines. They're just automatic. Before you even realize it, lunch and dinner are planned out, the kitchen is clean, your clothes are picked out, and you are enjoying a book or starting a new hobby in the evening. It doesn't take up that much energy. Some people need to add in another routine each day to handle things like laundry, dishes, the bathrooms, garbage, vacuuming. You get the idea of those weekly household tasks that need done over and over again. You can split these tasks over 15 to 20 minutes daily, or you can do them all at once, 1 day a week. The preference is yours. Many clients I have helped with their schedule choose to do this right after their workday, before they start anything else. Others do it right after dinner or first thing in the morning. I tend to do them all at once on Saturday afternoon just because I like the idea of having everything cleaned at once. Then throughout the week, I just have to maintain everything. And I have worked all of that into my AM and my PM routines. Once my routines were in place and became habits, life already began to feel so much easier. And I noticed my anxiety was really starting to settle down. My days were beginning and ending peacefully. Even when the rest of the day had fallen apart, I could look forward to these 2 times throughout the day. They brought me so much peace. That's when I decided to really try what so many of my mentors and teachers swore by: time blocking. Just The thought of it made me want to run and hide. No part of me wanted my days to be that scheduled. That's when I decided that it was my schedule and it just had to work for me. It didn't need to be crammed with a bunch of things other people thought I needed to accomplish. It just has to feel good to me. What a revelation! If you look at my schedule, it looks like it's very full. There is no blank space until around 7 or 8 p.m. depending on the day. But if you look closely, you'll see break times and extended lunch times and free time for following whatever crazy dream I want to chase. But it also keeps me on track with my workload and reminds me to check in on my clients and schedules time to create new content like this. It reminds me to pay my bills and order groceries, things that I can very easily forget when I'm in work mode. So it works like this. Every day has a general flow to it. It starts with waking up and my morning routine. Then I have 30 minutes to reset the house. That means things like making the bed, rotating laundry, wiping off the bathrooms, Swiffering the floors, and starting the dishwasher. Then the workday starts. So I'm not going to address and get into the specifics here, but if you own or manage a business and need help scheduling out your workday to be more productive, reach out to me. We can schedule a one-time hour-long call to help you sort out your schedule and be the most productive that you've been. You will see where all your time is going and why it seems like you are just spinning your wheels and not making any real progress. Next up on my schedule at 12:15, I schedule an hour-long lunch. Remember, my lunch is already prepped, so all I need to do is grab it and enjoy. It's important to me to have an hour so that if the weather's nice, I can eat my lunch outside and then maybe take a walk. Or I can run a few errands if I need to. My favorite thing to do is take my lunch and a book and spend the hour reading. It's an hour that I look forward to every day. It's important for me to set the work aside for a bit and give my mind a break. Often it's during that break when I'll get a great idea I want to try. Or I call a friend and chat for a few minutes. And on a really stressful day, it's where I'll sneak away for a few minutes and take a 15-minute power nap. Shh, don't tell anyone. Let's keep it our secret, okay? Even when I worked in the corporate world, I did my very best to protect my lunchtime. And while I was only given 30 minutes, I used it just the same. It's too important to my mental health to have a break. And while it was often expected to work through lunch and eat at my desk, I did my best to get up and get away. Even if it's only 15 minutes, it's important to have a break and focus on something else for a bit. It helps the afternoon go so much smoother. Throughout the work day, I batch my work. So let me explain to you what that means. I lump all like tasks together and do them at once. For example, all paperwork, forms, reconciling payments and receipts, those get done all at once. All correspondence like phone calls, texts, emails, they all get done together. If I'm creating new content, I do as much as I can at once. The idea is that when your brain is already in a specific mode, to keep that momentum. When you switch back and forth between tasks, it can take up to 20 minutes for you to settle back in and get refocused and be productive. Have you ever noticed when you're working on a project that really needs your specific attention, and then the phone rings? You answer the call and you have a 10-minute conversation with whoever was on the other end. And after you hang up and go right back to your project, and you look at it and you have to think for a few minutes, where did you leave off? What do you have to do now? Is what you did correct? Better double check that work. That's what happens every time you jump from task to task. That's why time blocking works. You use all the focus you can to knock out as many like things as possible. It takes less brain power. Then after my workday is over, there's time scheduled for a walk or some exercise. There's time to spend outside with the dog. There's dinner and my evening routine. I've also made sure to plug in time to create a meal plan for the week and pick up groceries, pay bills, enjoy a date night, schedule time with a friend or my parents, and even plan out my schedule for the following week. It's all there, the fun and the work. Nothing gets left behind. When a thought comes to my mind of something that needs done, I write it down so I don't have to remember it, and then I schedule it in my day where it makes the most sense to complete. I don't stop what I'm doing, and I just keep going. So an example would be if all of a sudden I remember that I need to call the doctor and schedule an appointment, it gets done when I'm at my desk handling my personal stuff, not when I'm in the middle of working on something else. If there's something that I want to learn or research, the only way it happens is if it's scheduled. Otherwise, it's just too easy to keep putting off. The same goes for a new hobby that you want to try or the walk you wish you would have taken. It always feels like there's something more pressing to do. And here's the honest truth. Are you ready? Things will take as long as you give them. If you believe that it will take you all day to clean your house, it will in fact take all day. If you believe it will take 3 hours to completely clean, you'll get it all cleaned in 3 hours' time. I've always told my clients who work from home or are retired that it is actually more difficult to get everything done when you are always at home. It's true. When I worked outside of the home, I went to work and I focused on my job. And then when I came home, I had no other choice than to hurry up and get everything done. If I didn't get the kitchen cleaned up and the laundry started within 30 minutes, I wasn't going to get it done. And I was going to have to deal with a messy kitchen and no clean clothes for work. But when you're at home, it's so much easier to push things off and get distracted. That's where these routines and time blocking become your friend. You can plainly see that you get whatever you have planned done in the next hour, and then you have 2 hours of free time to do something that you love. That's motivation to get it done. Let's be honest. My schedule is really nothing but a huge bribe. Get done what you have to get done to be able to spend time doing what you want to be doing. I promise it's possible. Okay, so I have provided a workbook to get you started on creating your perfect day. It will walk you through creating an evening and morning routine, as well as get you started time blocking your day. This process can be fun and easy. Don't overthink it. Just recount all the things that need to happen in your day or week, those things that you would enjoy doing, and schedule it in. If you find it's not quite working right for you, don't give up. Make some adjustments and try again. It took me a few weeks until I had my routines just the way I liked them. And even now, sometimes they change and I have to make a few different adjustments until it all flows right again. If you are playing Beat the Clock all day and feeling stressed out about your schedule, you need a change. Use the workbook to give you some ideas and don't be afraid to try new things. If you get stuck, frustrated, or need a different perspective, or you just want some guidance regarding your personal situation, let me know. We can schedule a private one-to-one call to work through your specific schedule. There is a small fee for the hour-long call, but just think how much it would mean if at the end of the day you can reflect back and feel proud of all you accomplished, both the work and the rewards. That's what I want for you. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you found this training helpful and you start to implement the tips that I've shared. If you found value here, please let me know and maybe even share it with a busy friend who could also benefit in finding some things to do that light them up inside. Until next time, bye-bye.